Hopefully everything can go green. Welcome guys, Jay Smith here. Welcome to the AskGolfNut channel. Welcome to episode 13, answer video from Stats of Strokes. Lots of different answers to the questions which I posed. 3, so part 1, and then part 2 was in kind of 2 parts. So we'll go straight away because, well, the question, for some reason, don't understand why, but the question video that I did live 3 days ago, so it was done 3 days ago, to give you a chance to get your answers in. Technology, we'll say. The video was very choppy. Audio was fine, but the choppiness of the video was off-putting. But I mean, everyone got their answers in, which is the main thing. And so let's very quickly go through the first one. I have the chat on behind there, and obviously if anyone wants to jump on and add anything to the chat, I can see the chat and also behind there anyway. So question 1 was, what distance from the hole is a 20 handicap golfer as likely to miss the green as to hit it? That's a really interesting, I mean, because of the fact that obviously I'm going to be referencing potentially tables of information that I've got, I'm not motivated obviously to show them to you, because obviously then capture a screenshot and you could possibly use it in the future. So whole idea is so you research it, you find it on different websites on Google for ARCOS, etc. So you can understand the data for yourself and also the fun of finding it. And you'll learn obviously through the way. That's the whole motivation for me to do this, is so that people have to go out there and find it themselves, so they learn. What handicap do you think it takes to go to D1 college? Mac, I'm assuming that's an American thing. So I'll be absolutely honest, I'm not up to, with that. I know that generally speaking, nowadays, to be any good at any given point, by the time you are 16, really you need to be off scratch. So again, when it comes to college, I don't know what age and stuff like that, but as a general rule, I would say you need to be at least, move my light a little bit, there we go. You need to be at least off scratch by the time you're 16. If you're not, it's not saying that you can't. Ian Poulter's a great example of someone that has blossomed in relative later life. But yeah, so it has to be, you basically have to be as good as you possibly can do, as early as you possibly can do, and it's especially important nowadays because it is just so darn difficult now. Right, so the answer, I'll put the answer to question, because I've got, I'll just, so you can see there, that was Mac. Or I'll tell you what, that might be a little bit small to read. There we go. We'll go up one so people can see. Right, so that was the question there that you can see there. By all means, everyone, pop your comments in there in your chat. I'll go digress to them. And so the answer was 100 yards. Bang on, give or take 100 yards. For this, obviously, 5 points on offer if you just input. Doesn't matter if you thought it was 1700 light years, obviously you'd be wrong, but you'd get a point anyway. So that's the whole idea of it, is so as long as you input, you get a point. And we've had 2 newcomers. We actually did quite well last round, so well done to them. But you don't have to get 100 on the dot. You can be a little bit either way. The whole idea is that you're not supposed to be able to right on the nose. But so whoever got 100 yards, or very, very close to, well done. And obviously anyone who didn't get 100 yards and then got numbers either side, and I can't remember off the top of my head what the variance was, because I did have it written down. There was some variance on it, and so the interesting thing on these especially is when we do these from Stats of Strokes is the differential between what people's expectations are and what reality is. And do you know what, sometimes, the majority of the time, people believe that they should be better than they are, or they should be, or they actually, you know what I mean. So they hit a shot from 100 yards as a 20 handicap golfer, and they hit it 30 feet away, like 10 yards away. 30 feet is quite a long way when you look at it from a certain point. And then you get there and actually it's not that bad whatsoever. And it's not. And if you're a 20 handicap and you hit the green and you're 30 feet away, that is a really, really good shot. But a lot of 20 handicappers get really upset. So I mean, obviously 18 handicap, 20 handicap, very, very close together. And they get quite upset the fact they're 30 odd feet away. Well, that's a win. That really is a win. Right, so for question 2, I'll get rid of that one. So we'll add the question 2 part in. So we got the question 1 done. Question 2 is 175 yards. This is 175 yards from the fairway. What percentage does a scratch golfer and a 20 handicap golfer leave 20 yards or more short of the hole? 20 yards or more short of the hole. That's quite a big distance from 175 yards. So we're looking at basically shots which have traveled 155 yards or even less than that. And I think you'll be surprised when you find out the answer and just what it is. So let's have a look at the answer. Where is it on this one here? Lights moved again. I will put that properly up for one day. Right. Ready, steady, go. There you go. So handicap is 10%. So 10% of their shots, even at a scratch handicap, a 0 handicap, still 10% of their shots, they leave 20 yards or more short. Yeah. And then when it comes to a 20 handicap, it's nearly 50%. Nearly 50%, 45% is the actual answer, but nearly 50%. Basically, I'm not messing over 5%. It's half of their shots. They leave up to 20 yards or more short of the hole. Now, there is a distinct reason for that. Now, 0 handicap will be slightly different to that of the 20 handicap. So the 0 handicap, their understanding of how far they hit their shots, their own clubs, they have a much more of a realistic and a better understanding of actually how far they on average hit their shots. And so they do not fall foul to the 20 handicappers issue, which is a certain amount of that. The 10% of the 0 handicap, the scratchers, where their 10% comes from, is quality of strike. All day long, it's quality of strike. They're still very good golfers. I mean, scratch golfers are really good golfers, but we are still looking effectively at misstrikes. Slightly heavy is the biggest one. If you hit the golf ball heavy, even let's say if you take a like for like 10 millimeters low on the face, 10 millimeters high on the face. When I say high and low, I mean from the point where you should be hitting the golf ball on, club ball, yeah, contact. So if you hit it low on the face, you're thinning it slightly, and then obviously 10 mil high would be hitting the ground first and the ball hits high on the face. That is by far the biggest comment of leaving shots short. Fat is bad. On a golf course, never fat, always thin. You'll get away with the thin. You can hit it 10 mil low and it will still go within reason the similar or very similar distance. Sometimes it will go in lower, which will mean that the total distance will be exactly the same because it just gets there slightly differently. And of course, if you're going to hit it really that bad and hit the greenside bunker or something, you know what I mean. The big problem is heavy. When you look at the 20 handicappers, nearly half of their shots are left short, and that is because of 2 reasons. One, this is a generic, I'm going to put it across the board, but obviously you're going to get 20 handicap golfers that have got a very good understanding of how far they hit a golf ball with each golf club. I'm not saying this is every single person, but there is a pattern, a common pattern, that if you look at the distances that a 20 handicap golfer thinks they hit their golf ball against the scratch golfers, there will be different distances. Yeah, of course, a scratch golfer is going to hit further on average than a 20 handicap golfer, like for like golf club, but it's the consistency of them understanding how far they hit on average as opposed to the 20 handicap. The 20 handicap, yes, they have hit a 7-iron 175 yards before, but it was downwind, hit 1-2 cart paths, sprinkler head cover, and then on the green. I'm exaggerating, but you kind of get my drift. Generally speaking, and it is a pattern I've seen throughout my years, that the higher handicap you go, the less realistic understanding a handicap golfer has got of actually how far they hit on average. And then the other one is massively quality of strike. Again, where you've got the one which affects the 0, it will also affect the 20 handicap, and also worse. Obviously a 20 handicap has a worse, generally speaking, again, understanding of strike consistency or spray consistency around the face, and so therefore a 0 handicap will beat them a little bit on that, and then obviously they beat them anyway when it comes to understanding how far they hit their golf clubs. So really, when it comes to a 20 handicap golfer, what my big things would say when you're talking about that, 50%, that is missed green. We're not talking left, we're not talking right, we're talking short. That is a missed green as a general rule, because there's not many greens which are 60 odd feet. You've got 60 feet short, you're missing greens. And of course, when you're talking about course designers, generally speaking, have trouble short and left and right, you could well put yourself in a situation where that is in a greenside bunker. And then when it comes to bunkers, guys, you know I've said this before, high handicap golfers in general hate bunkers because statistically they are terrible out of them. As soon as you go in a bunker, you are losing up to a shot than if you would just not be in it. Yeah. So when I say not be in it, I don't mean not being it on the green, I mean not being it in the rough. So bunkers are key to either working on them to get your shots off straight away, or don't go in them. Do everything you can to make sure you don't go in a bunker. Obviously, I know it's not always that easy, but there you go. Food for thought on that one. So if you're a 20 handicap golfer, there's two things that we need to be working on here. One, we need to understand how far we actually hit our shots on average, and what our dispersion bubble is, to understand what our general pattern of dispersion is, short and long, so we can put our little hole, our target, smack bang in the middle of that. And then when it comes to quality of strike, this is the main thing when you talk about higher up the handicaps. It's just making half decent contact. Don't worry about shot shape, don't worry about this or anything else. You are talking about every concentration in your noggin needs to be firmly on the basis of one thing, just strike. When I hit shots, guys, when you're watching me doing my bits and pieces, I know sometimes I'm chatting, I'm talking to the camera, so I'm not always concentrating the best as I can do. But when I'm properly concentrating, all I'm thinking of when I get down to that golf ball, I'm just thinking one thing: strike. That is it. I don't care about anything else. Strike, strike, and strike. Because if you don't make half decent effort at strike, and you don't have to be plumb on, you have to be decent and missing in a certain way, then low on the face and slightly toe would be advantageous, but there you go. Strike, 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 strike. So I'll get rid of the answers and bits and pieces, and I will put the leaderboard up there. So Perry's in the house. Hello, Perry. Hope you're well. Gapping, yes. Perry says gapping, which is a very good point. Yes, more people need to do gapping sessions more often. Absolutely, yes. Golfhead says, hi Jay, how are you? Cheers. Oh, very well, mate. Not worries whatsoever. I'm busy as always. I've done 2 videos today, done a tuitional one with a little bit of takeaway, because I've had a few swings over like the last week. Well, actually technically it's about 8-9 days, but we'll say last week. We've had, I don't know how many now, swings sent to me where they all do the same thing. Obviously there's a generic thing, but obviously I get so many requests for people to look at their swing. I physically can't do it, guys. That's why, generally speaking, guys, if you want an online lesson when it comes to looking at your own swing personally, it is a much better way of doing it. You can send your bits and pieces for it. I get so many every day from people that want me to look at their swing and suggest this and suggest. I just don't get the time to do it. Obviously I've got my own YouTube stuff I need to do as well, and so I try to reply to as many comments as I possibly can do on all of the videos that I do, and so I try and make that, but I just can't unfortunately reply to everybody. But yeah, so I've done a takeaway video today to try and stop the old classic over the top, because I see it time in, time out. And then I've also done the Mizuno Pro 245 against ZX5 Mark II irons, because many people wanted that. So I thought I'd do it. There you go. Neil says most will do better by adding an iron to whatever they think they should. That's actually a good point, especially the higher the handicap. Yes, if you look at the 20 handicap golfer and you look at their dispersion of nearly 50% of their shots from the fairway from 175 yards. I don't know what golf club guys that you're going to be thinking as a 20 handicap golfer, 175. It's probably going to be at least a 5-iron, if not a hybrid of something like that. Then, and you do get the faster ones, which obviously are high handicap golfers, not because of speed restriction, it's just because of application of understanding face control and also where they hit on the face. It is a massive thing about understanding how far you actually hit it. 2 gappings a year, guys. If you can do 2 gappings a year, you need to understand how far you hit them in the winter, and also need to understand how far you hit them in the summer, what the difference between them is. Also, if you're doing 2 different gappings as well, you can understand and identify any kind of issues on the bag when it comes to the palm tree effect that you see, where you get kind of like that you naturally normally get when you're talking about gapping, and see if you get any blending between the two. If you've got 2 golf clubs which basically do the same thing, but you hit one more functionally into a green as such, into an imaginary green than the other, then dump the other one. You identify those much more readily when you're looking at gap testing. And if you can do it obviously 2 times a year, absolutely ideal. You capture what happens in the winter when it's colder. Obviously air is different, it's heavier, you've got the ball is colder, makes a big difference. Golf balls, I did a video which no one cared about. I did a video about when you have frozen golf balls, when you have basically have a golf ball which is really, really cold. And the difference between a golf ball which is really, really cold to a golf ball which is normal condition, not even the one where I actually got it in a microwave and warmed it up, or stick it on a radiator, I can't remember what it was, but I warmed them up to see what the difference was. Obviously quad doesn't care about anything else, it just reads what the ball does. And so the information that I gained, I can't remember now, but I think the information I gained was purely with normal atmospherics. It wasn't anything, it was just what the ball done. If you then add what the heavy air situation when it comes to cold air of a winter's morning against a nice and warm summer's day, again you've got another factor there that will reduce distance and increase distance. Gapping. There you go. So we've got a couple more before we go. We've got GolfNut has just received the TaylorMade burner mini driver, copper looking, well, forward, yeah, looking forward to trying it. 9 degree. So we got Neil says, yeah, was referring to the talk on high handicap golfers. Absolutely. GolfNut says driver 9 degree, mini driver 13.5 degree high wood, 17 degree, and then 7 wood at 22 degrees. That's a good, yeah, good split. It's a safer option, generally speaking. Obviously, the mini drivers have got a shorter shaft, etc. To try and control strike a little bit better. And I think GolfNut says, I think the gapping should be ideal. I'm hoping. Again, you won't know until you physically test it. But I think, generally speaking, by what you've got there, they won't be too far off from being decent gaps. Right, there you go. So well done to everybody. Let's go get the leaderboard up. We always like the leaderboard up. I will wait for a second because it scrolls in the background and I want to make sure we have a little bit of suspense to see what happened. We did have a opening up a little bit of, I can flick it over sort of like nowish. There you go, we're at the bottom-ish end of the table. Most of the people that you see here, obviously with 5 and 4 points and 3 points, etc., have only entered in for 1 round. There was 2 that entered in. I think we've got 5 and 4 points. They rocket up the leaderboard straight away. From 120s to 22nd or whatever it is spot, tied, up to tied 50 something. So yeah. Perry says, too many buy into, I hit my 750 yards carry. There you go. Right, Niels, there we go, 58 points, position 1, Williams at 53, Aaron's at 49, he's climbing up the leaderboard quietly. Mr. 2 Fair 48, Ian's 47, Wason's 46, Special K's 46. Again, we are getting, this is what, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, got 5 holes to go. Bearing in mind, remember, this is this kind of scoring, start with a scoring to a certain extent. And if you get to a point of where it's, say, hole 16, you've got 2 more to go after that, and someone is in the lead by 11 points, there is no way anyone else will catch them. So potentially we could finish early. I don't know, okay, it depends on how everybody does. We'll have to wait for it to flick over. Was it a 5-point head lead that Mr. Axelson's got. Yes, over William, and then Aaron's not far back at all. He's snuck up there. He really has done well. Harry's on 46 points. Steve Butcher's on 46 as well. Pete's on 45. It's a good way. Ice Tray's come obviously down because I think he went and bought some new irons. And I think from the conversation that I had, he was very kind and basically said even though he was leading at the time, he wanted to come out of the or even if he joins in, he's asked me to take his points away from the situation because he's got new golf clubs. He doesn't need new golf clubs, and so it'd be obviously nice to have a nice shiny set of whatever he'd like, but just so people get as much opportunity as possible, he's asked me to withdraw his application in the competition. So well done to Ice Tray 2468 for being an honest individual and a very kind gentleman that you are. Right. William says, I just have to cross my fingers Niels forgets to answer one week. It does happen. William is in second place. You can see he's 5 points behind. That is it. Yeah, and it has happened. A lot of people have forgot. A lot of people have got distracted or done something different or whatever it be and not done it for whatever reason. And then they have cursed afterwards. And of course they have gone down the leaderboard as such. The whole idea of this obviously is to get yourself a free custom fit set of irons from sub 70 or 11 golf. I don't know if I've got the bits and pieces in the background of which I can, there we go, as we go along. These are just some of the bits and pieces that say that way sub 70 does. I mean, I've got, I'm hopefully due to get some of the sub 70 anytime now. Yep. And so I'll be doing the reviews on the channel. They're the 11 wedges, I think they are. I only got some more sub 70s and stuff anyway. So whole idea of this, you win and then you get your choice over what sub 70 or 11 golf custom fit set of golf clubs do you want. All you've got to do is keep on entering, keep on liking the videos, keep on obviously being a subscriber. The only stipulation that I do have from the point of view of 11 and sub 70 is that if you could follow them on their Instagram and their Facebook, that would be blooming lovely. And then after that, that's about it. That's all you have to do. And yeah, you could be in the chance. This is obviously some of the options that they've got. So again, don't want to bore the pants off of people. So, right, well done to everyone who got involved. The next from Stats to Strokes will hopefully not be too long away. I've got a video uploading tomorrow. It's going to go live tomorrow, and then obviously got more coming next week. So that will be hopefully tomorrow, then Sunday, then maybe Tuesday, Thursday, depending on obviously this is the. For the people that care, this is the bit at the end of the video. Most people disappear by now anyway, so I may have to do something different for about 3 or 4 weeks because my projector, which is up here, my BenQ LK936 ST, has to go to Netherlands, has to go to Holland for some tweaky. It's focusing on one side of the screen and not the other side. You can't really see it, obviously it's quite a long way away, but it means that I will be out without a simulator. Now that means obviously I can't do videos here, but it does mean that there might be an opportunity for me to go to Flemington Golf Club and do some on-course stuff for 3 or 4 weeks while that is out. It doesn't stop me actually doing normal reviews. It just means that I can't do the reviews in here. I will have to do the same stuff that everybody else does. Go out on the golf course, give you absolutely useless information because obviously nothing is obviously collected via data. It's just literally what I say, what I see on the golf, which is largely irrelevant. And then I can do the work in here off of camera anyway, hitting the shots like I normally do, all the forgiveness testing, and also all of the different swing speed testing to try and capture as much as possible. William Hartman says, I just got a used GC3 last week. Now I just need a house so I can build a home sim. Yeah, or garage. Garage works as well. A net in the back garden, anything like that really. You don't need a massive setup. You can basically make your own setup relatively cheaply without going crazy. So that will happen over the next sort of week or so that I've got to get rid of the simulator. So I think it will have to be one of those where I've got to get out on the golf course and do some on-course stuff which will be fun anyway to do. Right, guys, thank you very much. As always, keep your eyes peeled on the channel so you can make sure that you don't miss out on a From Stats to Strokes. Make sure you're subscribed and also get the bell icon on also as well. If I could just get every single person that subscribes to me to watch every single one of my videos, even if they just had it in the background, my life when it comes to try and make YouTube pay would be a so much easier option. Right, guys, thank you very much as always, and we'll see everyone in the next video.